What's going on, team? It's your boy G, aka Ginato Sensei. We back at it again with another episode of Ginato Explain. Man, today's episode we're gonna be talking about Attack on Titan. Let's get it.
Spoiler alert, this is your one and only chance to get off of this video. If you stay on this video prior to this, your fault. Don't blame me. Okay? I just wanna talk about whatever we're talking about today. I don't know exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about something. So y'all already know what we do, man. I shouldn't have to tell y'all, but it's okay because I'm gonna tell y'all anyway because I love y'all. So let's get right into this video. Hope y'all like it.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro for now on, because I've gotten a lot of feedback from not only just like people that watch my videos, but some of my friends who feel like I would just be spoiling everything, which is like what I do, but it's like in the name of the time I'm explaining something, you know what I'm saying? So you can't blame me now, because now we have a whole like spoiler alert intro, just so y'all don't get spoiled well prior to it. Now thumbnails and titles, I can't do nothing about that, but at least the least I can do is give you guys a warning for anybody that's new or just needs a reminder of what we do, man, because we explain everything. We go through it and break it down, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna continue to do. So let's get right into it, man. In today's episode, man, it wasn't a whole lot of action, but it was a whole lot of drama, because Aaron's in prison right now because of his actions in Marlene territory, because he went against protocol, went out on his own, got captured just so that he can make his statement and take the Warhammer Titan and put things basically in his own hands. So we started off the episode with Aaron talking to himself in the mirror, trying to keep his spirits up, telling himself to fight. Now we don't know exactly what he's referring to, because he doesn't necessarily go into detail about his plans, or if his plans go with what Zeke has planned. We pretty much don't know where his mind's at right now. All we knew is that Aaron went rogue, and that now they're locking him up, even though they can't really hold him. He's allowing them to hold him in this prison cell just so they feel better, I guess. But he's separated from everybody else, and we start the episode off with him and Han having a quote-unquote conversation, because it wasn't really a conversation. It started off with Han doing her normal, like, not necessarily interrogation, but just trying to get people to talk by distracting them and trying to be their friend and talking about random stuff, and Aaron just wasn't having none of that. She wanted to know what Aaron's plan was and why he even really left in the first place. And Aaron's like, basically like, it don't matter what I say to you right now. What do you really want from me? What can you really do with the information I'm about to tell you? Because at this point, I feel like Aaron he's hit the crossroads, bro, because this episode was all about not only just family ties, but them having their back against the wall and basically laying down and accepting their fate. And Aaron's not just about to have that happen, bro. Aaron doesn't want a piece of the pie. He wants the whole cake. He doesn't want to sacrifice not only his futures, but his people's future for the bare minimum. He wants the whole kit caboodle. Like, what was the point of all this death, of all of the fighting that they've done to this point, if they're not going to get exactly what they want? And I think people don't understand where Aaron's coming from, just because they don't have a finite time left on this earth, because of Aaron having the Titans. He only has a set amount of time. I think it's like maybe like two years left or something like that he has left to even be a Titan. So every move that he makes up until this point and in the future has to count, and people are kind of just accepting what's given to them instead of taking what they want. And that's at least how I feel about Aaron's whole situation. Now granted, his means and his methods might not be the best, but at least he's thorough in his logic when it comes to it. Now, whether or not Aaron's messed up in the head, I think we can all agree, like, he got trauma. Like, he's down bad right now. But everything he has done up until this point has been for a reason, and for him to sit down there and try to explain it makes no sense for him to do that if they're not going to have an open mind to it, So I feel like the scouts right now are just trying to play catch up at this point. Han doesn't really have an actual plan as far as what's their next move. She's actually doubting herself as a leader, which makes sense with the persona that she puts out. But behind closed doors, she's really like, man, why did old boy choose me? Why am I in command right now? Like, you know, which is admirable to have those thoughts. That's probably why she's in command. When it comes down to making decisions, it's like every decision that they make is huge. It's huge to this point. So after that part of the episode, man, we go into 2 years prior, a couple years back. They get their first like international guest, which is the Hiruzu. The head of this nation is this lady who brings out this family crest, which turns out to be Mikasa'S family crest. And we find out that not only is Mikasa part of a royal family, just like Astoria, but she's the last one. She was left on the island back in the day, and her mom gave her this mark because up until this point, she's always had it wrapped up in the cloth. Nobody could see it, right? And we always knew that she was different. Her and Levi, they come from the same place, but Mikasa is actually royalty, which is really crazy. It was really like a moment to like, man, family ties is really a thing in this. So once that happened, they broke the news to everybody. Eren was the only one who knew prior to this, which would make sense because they grew up together. Historia was geeked because now it's like, oh, she's not the only one that has to bear this burden. And Mikasa's like, well, it's still like, you know, super new to her, but at the same time, it's not the same. But Historia is not really thinking about that. Next, we go into the actual craziest part of this episode, which is where the lady from Hiruzu breaks down her agreement with Zeke, because Peridius is like a gold mine to these people. Now, they wouldn't just come here for just simple relationship just for one person. Like, granted, that's a cool thing for them to, you know, have found Mikasa, but that's definitely not their only motive. Money is always the motive when it comes to people like this and nations in general. And with the precious resource that the Peridians have, which the scouts use for their omnidirectional mobility gear, to them, like, the Peridius is a freaking gold mine, and is a way for them to move up as a superpower. So that was the first thing, right? The second thing is that they want Historia to become a Titan. Obviously, she wants her to inherit the Beast Titan, and then whoever Eren passes the Founder Titan to, he wants them to make a whole bunch of babies, which is insane. Like, Eren literally said, like, you're turning us into livestock at this point. First, you trample us, and now you want to turn us into livestock and breed us, have a breeding program, like, until they can't breed anymore, like, until they can't, make any more babies. Like, that's insane. That's an insane request. And then also use the rumbling to show dominance to the rest of the world until they can get their military up to speed to where everybody else is at and beyond. And I'm just like, yo, no way they really going for this. And guess what? Historia's like, I'll do it, whatever it takes for our survival. I'm like, yo, you're bugging. And that's when I feel like the switch hit for Eren, because it's like, yo, if we can't have everything we want, I'd rather just go out fighting, because at this point, this is still not freedom. This is still like, we're still under somebody else's rule. Like, we need to be free and we need peace, but they don't want to give that to us. We're gonna have to take it. And that's when I feel like his mind started going. I was like, okay, how can I not only buy some more time, but save Historia from being a Titan, and save all my friends from being a Titan at this point? Because now that they have a Titan serum, they can literally make anybody into a Titan that they want out of their whole group. After that whole meeting, and Eren basically being like, nah, like, I'm not rolling with this. It's been some time, right? They still haven't really figured out what they want to do. The Hiruzu are basically pulling out of all agreements until they make that agreement to not only trade, but all the agreements that, Zeke had planned. They're basically stuck in the mud, right? But the only thing they can really focus on right now is who's going to inherit Eren's Titan. And this is like one of the most heartwarming parts of the episode, because everybody basically says why they should inherit Eren's Titan, and basically like Eren's like, nah, none of y'all should be really inheriting my joint, because I want all you guys to live long lives. They break down all their arguments of why they deserve to be it, or they should be, even though none of them really want to do it. And Armin's already a Titan, so he's done for it as well. Everybody's making really like solid arguments for it, but it really just showed me in this episode, not only through their interactions, but the lengths that they're all willing to go for each other. There's always that saying that like blood is thicker than water, but just because you're not blood don't mean you're not family at this point. And that's why I call this episode Family Ties, because they're all a family, and families do fight, you know what I'm saying? Families do fight. And you know, Aaron's going through like a super rough patch as far as just mental stability. They're all trying to deal with it, because not only did one of their family members die in Sasha, but also like that hit everybody really, really hard, including Aaron. But in the way he showed it, you could tell like something's definitely wrong with him. Something's definitely wrong with him at this point. So that's all I got for this episode, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think Aaron's mindset and what his plan is. Do you think his plan coincides with Zeke's plan? Because they haven't really even like met really since, you know, prior to this. They're both separated at this point. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be dope. I can't wait to see some more action. I don't know if it's gonna happen in the next episode per se, just because of what happened in this one. But I'm super excited, man. And yeah, y'all know the vibes. Always keep it on. See you guys, your boy G. And I'm going. Peace.